As we come to the end of my journey and the episodes with regard to conservation, my involvement in hospitality and the CCFA, my family have asked me to do a video down memory lane. And I thought the most appropriate one for me to do was regarding our life in horses.
Garden the leader, Potomac coming for a challenge, Yamani running on, it's Enchanted Garden with 100 to go, and the filly's going to hold off the poor fancy stable companion. Enchanted Garden by 3 parts of a length, Potomac was second, then the two stable companions, Yamani and Uncle Percy.
And horses was not only racing, it was breeding. I had a partner at the time called Tony Ross, and he was more interested in the racing, and I was certainly a lot more interested in having a farm and breeding. So we found a farm near Plettenberg Bay of approximately 1,000 hectares, and we decided to embark on the journey of building a stud farm there. And like Shamwari, everybody said it was completely the wrong place to build it. Well, anyway, we went ahead and built it, and it became a very successful stud farm.
1986 was just the beginning. The future is in Roodefontein, in its land and in its stock. If you take a trip along the garden route, you'll find yourself in Plettenberg Bay, tourist mecca of the south, where modern hotels and holiday homes fill every available space. If you make your way through the town and up the valley, you'll discover a new landmark, Roodefontein.
The journey of my involvement in horse racing, we had an incredible year. In the year 1986, we had Horse of the Year, Sprinter of the Year, and Filly of the Year. And then we won a number of Group 1 races. In fact, I think we won 6 or 7 Group 1 races, which had never been done before.
Champion Sonera, seen here taking the Natal Flying Championship. In South Africa, she had 13 starts for 11 wins and 2 seconds. Sonera was awarded 1986 Sprinter of the Year.
Lord Randolph trying to close in, but it's Sonera, and this mare is pure gold.
Champion Fool's Home walks away with the Group 1 Champion Stakes. His 8th win from 9 starts. This was the fastest 2,000 meters ever run in South African racing history. Champion Enchanted Garden takes the Group 1 Sun International, the first 3-year-old filly to do so. Her 5 Group 1 victories earned her the Horse of the Year award, again a first for a 3-year-old filly.
So it was an incredible year, and with those winners, we managed to put our stud farm, Roodefontein, on the map. And it grew into an exceptionally successful stud farm. And we were lucky in that we had the great trainer Terence Millard, who helped us with all our phenomenal horses, and it was a journey that I can honestly never forget.
A massive investment has been made to achieve the goals, and vast research and hard work has taken place. The highest standard is being sought. Roodefontein stands dedicated and committed to achieving and maintaining that standard nationally and internationally. Roodefontein's lineup is looking very promising.
If you want to see the tops, come to Roodefontein.
Well, Roodefontein is just completed its first phase of development. We now in the process of planning a new barn, which is going to be constructed on the same lines as this barn up here, which takes into account the most modern practices used throughout the world. This barn and all its facilities were researched worldwide. We've had a success on the race course, and we hope that that success will continue from the blood that we breed.
And I think the day I remember most about it was I was in Zimbabwe, and at that stage we had a successful crane business, we had a successful business of exporting all the bulk minerals out of Zimbabwe through Port Elizabeth, and I got a phone call from an attorney in Plettenberg Bay to say that we have a buyer for your farm. And we had just completed it. In fact, we just completed our home there, and most of the buildings were done. The new dam had been built, and I said it's really not for sale. So he said everything's for sale at a price. And that was a Thursday afternoon. At that stage we had our own plane. I flew back that night and I went down to the stud farm on Friday afternoon, and by Sunday morning we had sold the property. So I managed to get out of the horse business, and I can always remember a day when I walked along the beach with then a great friend of mine called Graham Beck, and the beach was in Muizenberg, Cape Town, and he said, "Adrian, you've had probably one of the most successful years any owner has ever had in the horse business." And he said, "My advice to you is don't put it back. It will never ever happen again." So I think with those words and this incredible offer that we had to sell the farm, put the horses into another entity, it was time to move on. Now, if I hadn't have done that deal, we wouldn't have had the funds to start the new journey, which was the purchase of Shamwari. And just to give you a background of my involvement with Graham Beck, later on in my life we owned a property in Cape Town called Steenberg, which had a hotel, a winery and a golf course. Funnily enough, I employed the winemaker of Graham Beck's at Steenberg, and the winemaker came along one day and said to Graham Beck, "You should have a look at this estate." So Graham came along, and I was in London, and he phoned me and he said to me, "I'm buying this bloody place." I decided then that I didn't want to sell it, but anyway, so I said, well, it was a Wednesday. I flew back on the Thursday. I met him on Friday, sat with Graham Beck in his home in Cape Town, and we did the deal on Friday afternoon. He shook my hand for a deal in excess of 100 million, no paperwork, and the money was in the bank on Monday. And I'll really never forget the words he said to me, "I've bought it, the company, don't touch anything." And it was quite funny because the guy in charge of the winery there said to me, "Look, I know there's a couch and some chairs which belong to you, I'd like to buy them." I said, "Don't touch anything." And that was in a relationship that I had with Graham Beck for many years. And I think one of the most special times of that meeting was Graham then introduced me to Cyril Ramaphosa. And Graham put Cyril into a number of businesses and really grew Cyril in that, I would say, that journey in his business. So Cyril and I then became quite good friends, and I still have a contact with him. And obviously he's in very difficult times at this stage, like all of us under COVID. And I just wanted to complete the talks that I've had about some of the incredible people that I've met, the journey that I had in horse racing, an incredible time, a great journey. So this was just to show people of where we came from, how we managed to raise the fund to take me on the journey of conservation and wildlife. I hope you enjoy the episode.
We